Hello friends, welcome to HBase session. In this session, we are going to see how we can create table in HBase database and how we can insert our data into table. So I'm already open my HBase shell. So let's create a table first. Then we will see how we can insert our data into table. So let's first query our tables so that we should know which all tables we have in our database. So to query the tables, we have to use the list command. So if I type list and enter, then it will display me all the tables that are available in my HBase database. So I have typed list and I am pressing enter. So now you can see I have two tables, that is table 1 and T. So let's create a table, then we will insert the values in that particular table. So let's create a table. I'm creating create and my table name would be, let's say, employee. So I'm creating my table by employee name. So as we know, we have to define the column families in HBase to create a table. So column families are something like personal data, professional data, or you can say like your name and address. So whatever you want, you can create your column families. So I'm creating two column families for my employee table. So the first column family would be my personal data. So let's create the column families as personal data. Personal data. And I'm creating a second column family as my professional data so that I can enter my professional entries as well. So inside the codes, you have to define the professional data. So I have created two column families in my employee table. And the schema is like create. Create is the command to create the query. Then the table name. After that, you have to define column families for your table. You can take one column family also. So if you don't want professional data, then you can only take one column family, like I'm showing here, like create, then table name, that is employee in single quotes, comma, then in the single quote I have taken personal data. So that is how you can create your table. So I'm creating, let's say, using two column family. So I'm including professional data also. If you want, you can create with one column family also. So I'm pressing enter. So now you can see my table is created. So if I query again using the list command, then it will show the employee table also. So let's type list, and now you can see it is displaying the employee table also. So our next task is to enter the data inside this table. It is very simple. We have to use the put command. Put command is used to create the data for the table. So put, then in the single quote, the table name. So my table name is employee. After that, we have to define the row ID because HBase works on the row formatted schema. So we have to define the row ID. So row ID you can put in the integer or you can put in the string also. So let's take a row ID as 1. So I am taking the value as 1. You can take any value like ABC, XYZ, any value. So that will you can use when you fetch the record for that particular row, like the where condition. So I have taken the row ID as 1, comma. So which data you want to enter? Personal data or professional data? So let's take I'm entering my personal data. Personal data. So I'm using colon. Colon means which personal data you wanted to insert. So let's take a name. I wanted to enter the employee name. I have closed the quotes, then comma again. After that the value. So what would be your name? So let's say I am taking my name as Ajay. Single quote closed. So the schema to put the data inside the table is like put, then the table name. As you can see in the single quotes, I have taken employee. After that, one is nothing but a row ID. So you have to define a row ID for particular table. After that, your column family. So column family you can take either personal data or either professional data. You have to take only one column family. You cannot take both the column family. That is the limitation of HBase. So I have taken personal data. Personal data for what? I have taken for name. Then the value. What is the name? So I have taken my name. So I am pressing enter. So now you can see my data is inserted in my table. So now how you can query your record? Like in our traditional databases, we have select star from table name. So in our traditional databases, we should have the query like select star from employee. But in HBase, we don't have select star. We have the command name as scan. So scan is the command by which you can query your table. So scan, then the table name. So my table name is employee in the single quote, and now I am pressing enter. So now you can see I have fetched the record for my table because HBase works on the row formatted schema, as we all know. So the row ID is 1 and the column family is like personal data name. Then the timestamp, like when you have created the data, and the value is Ajay. So this is how you can insert your data. So let me insert one more data. I am taking put command again, and now I am taking the row ID as 1 and I am taking my personal data. That is my second column family, that is professional data. And professional data would what? Would be, let's say, designation. And what is the designation? Let's say I am taking as manager. So the professional data would be for my designation and it is for my row ID 1. So I am pressing enter again. So my record is entered for my table. So if I scan my table, scan employee, it should have 2 record, but the row ID is 1. So the one is for personal data and the second one is for my professional data. In a similar manner, you can enter the second record also. Let me enter second record. The employee would be different. So the employee would be different. So my row ID would be different. So row ID is 2. And let's say I'm taking for my personal data for that employee. Personal data. Let's say I'm taking again for my name, and name of that employee is, let's say, Sam. So the second employee is Sam. I'm pressing enter. So my record is entered successfully. So if I scan my table, it would have 2 records. So now you can see it has 2 also. For the 2, let's put the professional data also. So for the row ID 2, that is my second employee, I am taking 2, and the professional data, let's say designation as, let's say I am taking as a QA. That is my quality engineer. So I am pressing enter. So my record is successfully entered. So this is how you can create your table. You can enter your records for your table with different column family. So if I scan my table, it would have 2 records like row ID 1 and row ID 2. It has a different name like Ajay, that is the manager, and the second employee, that is Sam, and his designation is QA. So in this session, we have seen how we can create the table and how we can insert any record inside my table using different column family. Thanks for watching this video.